What is going down, everyone? It's time for Mojobreak.com, the hype. 2:47. We're getting close to the National. Would love to see you guys all out at the National. We're going to be doing free breaks, free shirts, lots of stuff going down at the National. We'll be recording content there as well. But we'd like to meet you guys. Comment on the video below if you're going to be coming out to the National. Would love to see you guys. We got a lot of stuff going down. We're going to make our debut on Loop this Friday with Prizm Basketball. Great way to kick it off. Prizm Basketball releases this Friday, 21/22. Cody's going to be live over there on Loop. We're going to have special price packs for you guys and boxes, limited supply over there on Loop. And download the app. Get ready to jump on there and get some great deals for Prizm and help us kick off Loop. Cody, how excited are you for Loop, man? The app looks great.
Very excited. Very, very excited. I love that it's coinciding with Prizm Basketball release day, obviously like a huge day in the hobby. It's going to be very, very fun. I can't wait to do it. And, yeah, like you said, I mean, we're going to be offering some of the best deals you can find for Prizm Basketball on release day. So can't wait to do it. Come hang out with us. Download the app, L-O-U-P-E. I always make sure to tell people don't spell it L-O-O-P-E, L-O-U-P-E. That's how we keep things unique. And, that's everybody's got to, their apps all have to be like a unique spelling nowadays. So, you got to keep it that way.
Exactly. Got to get kept in the loop, but not spelled that way.
Precisely.
But we also, they're going to be doing the special bounty thing for that day as well. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. A favorite of ours as well. So
exactly.
It's like they knew.
It's crazy. I'm assuming it like.
I don't know if we could say it yet, but
yeah, I won't say nothing.
I think I know. It centers around Dennis Smith Jr., right?
That's correct.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
Dennis Smith Jr. bounties.
I figured.
I don't know if he's even going to be in the set, man.
I figured.
That's why it's a tough bounty. It's really hard to come by.
Really hard to find him in there. If you do, it's $1 million.
It really is worth it.
600 name checklist. He's not on there.
Actually, I don't think he is. I think we're all laughing, but the guy's a beast. He's gonna catch on somewhere. The Warriors need a guy like fill that slot right there. He can be a Warrior. Be a nice little role player.
Are we really saying Dennis Smith Jr. is the missing piece right now?
Yeah, they're going to get him, and then he's going to get paid $28 million from Portland. So that's what's going to happen. But
the next Gary Payton.
Yeah,
that is actually a nice career trajectory for D. Smith Jr.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean,
I don't know about that because he was a top lotto. He was a top lotto pick.
Yeah. So, and where is he now?
If
the Warriors came knocking and say, "Hey, DSJ, you want to sit at the bottom of the bench? Maybe get a ring, not another ring, a ring." He's like, "Sign me up. I'm in."
He's no Dennis the Menace, but I did want to promote the MojobreakShop.com. We got another discount code for you guys. Already got some great cheap wax on Mojobreak Shop. That is the site where you buy wax. We ship it to you. You open it up and show off your big hits. And that code is going to be Fireworks for the month, and it's a flash code. It's going to save you 10% off on boxes that are already discounted, guys. So use that code Fireworks. And speaking of Fireworks, later in the show, we had Jeremy come by. He was the guy that hit the Mac Jones 1-of-1 shield, and he came by and he talked about it. He picked it up in person. Was very excited. So we got that interview here coming up later in the show. But I wanted to kick things off talking about high-end baseball. 2022 Topps Definitive is here, releasing today. Did not think it was going to come out with the holiday week, but it's here. We've been breaking it. Some awesome cards. Dan, tell us about Definitive and why you love it.
Well, let me tell you about Definitive, Doug. It year in and year out, is there a better baseball release? I don't think so.
No.
Diamond Icons is pretty good.
Diamond Icons is pretty good, but it ain't no Definitive. There's no way around it. This is the marquee high-end release for baseball. It doesn't get any better. It's got it all.
It does. And it has a great checklist. You have Wander, you have O'Neal Cruz, you have Bobby Witt, you've got the big name rookies in there. Also, you've got plenty of Aaron Judge, who possibly could be the MVP this year. I saw YG pull a triple Reggie Jackson, Don Mattingly, and Aaron Judge all on card. Fantastic. So they have great pairings of duels and triples.
Was that to be random because the Reggie was Oakland?
No. Why would they put Reggie on Oakland? He's Mr. October because he was on the Yankees.
Yeah, according to him, he's got more allegiance to the California Angels than he does the Oakland A's.
Yeah, I think of Reggie. I think
disrespect.
Of Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah.
really came into his own.
Again, probably more allegiance to the Baltimore Orioles at this point. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's,
Even though he played the most games in his career for the Athletics.
Yes.
Did he?
Yes.
No,
100%
I
did, yeah.
Didn't remember.
Yeah.
Was he on the Philadelphia A's? No, I'm kidding.
So, definitive. Where did it come from? I think we talk about this every year, and you're like, man, like, what was the first Topps definitive release? Who knows? Do you know? Does Cody know? Does Doug? Well, Doug
I know.
knows.
It just appeared out of the ether, like it just kind of appeared out of
Conrad.
nowhere. No, I'll look
Conrad
this-
probably knows.
Is it-
Go in
yeah.
the Wayback Machine 2015.
Mm-hmm.
The
7 years ago.
second to last Topps football product, correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Second or third,
No, I think it was. What was the last one? Was
filled with a bunch of redemptions.
it was? Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Diamond.
Topps Diamond.
It was just
Yeah.
diamond.
It was just
I think.
diamond.
Yeah.
And it
No, and
had.
I think they had that other one where it was a 4 autos, 4 packs, and it was
I thought it
a stadium
ended-
club looking product.
I thought it ended.
Or maybe
No,
that
ended
no,
with
that was
diamond.
field level,
Field
access.
field access.
access, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it ended with
Diamond.
Diamond.
definitive and diamond. And diamond, you're right.
Is that where diamond?
There's a
icons came
little.
from?
I believe so. Could be.
They got the 2 highest end baseball products from their last 2 football releases in 2015.
Diamond was a one-off, man, because it had the blue pens and it was almost like a Spectra but without patches. I mean, there was patches in there, but it wasn't.
I remember the redemptions.
1,000.
I mean, it was scary because you're like,
Well,
are these ever gonna? It's over. Like, this is
and
bad.
it kind of hit me as we're on the subject of baseball. We're also going to have our newest buyback bases loaded Major Mojo coming out soon, 25 case run. So look out for details on that. But I wanted to talk about so definitive is a high end, diamond icons is a high end, and then you have transcendent, right? So those are the 3 high end baseball. But when you compare baseball to the other sports, there's no RPA, right? What product makes the RPA? I feel like you have National Treasures RPAs for basketball and football,
You got them for baseball too.
and you have them kind of for baseball, but I don't feel like you can tell collectors obviously the first Bowman is king when it comes to what card you want, but I feel like there's a lack of rookie patch autos in baseball as a go-to.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that can be solved or it's just never going to be. But I think it's a good talking point because I think there is going to be Wander Francos in here. There is going to be Bobby Witts, but they're only on-card autos. So they're not – I mean, they're going to do well, but they're not going to be like their first Bowmans. So it's can we figure out a way to have an RPA? I know Dynasty does well too, but there's no direction and we can say that is the rookie patch auto for baseball.
I think that the way it changes is if, whatever the future is for the Panini brands, if there is an NT, RPAs of these big rookies, then I think that brand carries enough weight that can probably fill that void. But I think until then, it's the first Bowman. Like you said, I think the first Bowman auto is king
But
for baseball collectors.
it's tricky because you can have prospects. So if a prospect comes out and it's under the Bowman brand, and it's would that be their first RPA, not a rookie? Because in order to have an RPA, they would have to already make their major league debut. So one thing about baseball is that there's a lot of people who prospect and they collect 3-4 years before their player actually hits the majors and has a true rookie card.
Yeah, I think the prospecting also is what kind of throws a wrench in everything. I don't know. Maybe there's down the road we get some high-end Bowman where there's Bowman prospect, first Bowman RPAs, if you will.
Yeah.
That might be the other thing that kind of takes
PPAs.
PPAs.
If National Treasures, I'm predicting that this is going to happen. I think at some point we will have a licensed National Treasures. Then that could change it all because you have NT football where you could hit Drew Brees and Joe Burrow. But you don't have that really in baseball yet. You have definitive's probably the closest thing, but just it isn't as collecting worthy or high end as
I don't know if baseball collectors flip out over patches unless it's a batter silhouette or a bat knob or a bat plate, as opposed to the football collectors and the basketball collectors.
Yeah, that's true. It's a different animal. It's more of an on-card auto type situation. But and then you have Flawless too, which I think Flawless has been kind of bad for baseball. It's they kind of struggle to put together a high-end set because they don't have Trout. They don't have, it's some of the subjects in there are not very transcendent or flawless, like, or definitive oriented.
But it still does well though.
It does decently, but throw some licensing in there, then maybe you have your RPA. And then you're right when you said what's the logo man equivalent to baseball, the silhouette,
the batter silhouette, which doesn't have the same like drive that like the NFL shields and the like the collectability really isn't there for the batter silhouette as opposed to like
and why
the
do
shield.
why do you think that?
Yeah, because baseball collectors, again, I don't think they look at relics and patches the same way as football collectors and basketball collectors do.
Yeah, is that what you think too, C-Red?
I was just about to ask. Like, I always assumed that the batter silhouette was on the same, at least the same level as the shield, because the shields aren't like anywhere near what the logo mans are. So I was gonna ask you guys. I was like, doesn't it feel like the MLB better, or I guess you're saying the NFL shield is more sought after than the MLB logo? So,
well, you don't see as many silhouettes either compared to like logo
don't.
mans or shields. Is it harder?
They are just as rare as a logo man,
which is
crazy. You think about it,
which is crazy. I mean, I guess it may be the origins of where the jerseys for baseball goes, because you think about it, there should be 162 jerseys, so it should be pretty easy to get batter silhouettes, right? Is there a batter silhouette on the back of every jersey? There is, right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah, there is.
I also don't know if baseball players have a new jersey every day. I think superstition plays into that, and they may have. And I don't think they are given a new jersey every day. I think it's not as lenient as football, and plus, I mean, they usually don't get the wear and tear you would get on a football jersey that you would get on a baseball jersey.
I think, though, there's still enough, there's enough changing jerseys throughout the year. Plus, there's stuff like all-star jerseys, spring training jerseys, postseason jerseys that those are not the same jerseys they're wearing throughout the season. But you're right. Like, I just remember specifically Tim Lincecum, the hat he wore was the same hat he wore for about 3 or 4 years.
I think for hats, I think a lot of players don't switch a hat.
No.
It's like switching their
Very
glove.
rare.
Like they're like, this is the same glove I've been using since like middle school. Like I'm gonna use it forever.
I mean, and maybe this will change with Fanatics, but I know at the Giants Stadium, and I can't speak to any other stadium, is you could buy game used balls. You could do the mystery bag like I did and get some base coach that retired, but it was game used. But there was a chance of a Buster Posey. There was a chance of it was like a blind wrapped game used jerseys that they sell there at the ballpark.
Who is it again?
Man, do you remember that jersey I had?
You said a retired base coach?
I remember we looked at it.
Oh, it's it was a bald dude from game
like,
87.
It was like one of their first base coaches.
Was it Luis Pujols? Was that who it was?
No.
Was it Roberto Kelly?
No, it was the wobbler, the old they called him like the wobbler or whatever, Crook and Kipe.
Oh, jeez, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I can't recall.
It's so notable that I can't remember the name.
I can't recall.
But it was a Gigantes jersey.
Was it older?
No, it was probably within the last 4 years.
Man, how many?
There hasn't been that many.
There hasn't been that
coaches.
many base coaches.
No.
We'll have to look it up off rather than try to figure out have dead air. But my point of bringing that up is it seems like the stadiums are trying to sell the jerseys. Why couldn't they just acquire some of those jerseys through Topps and do more silhouettes and maybe make that rookie silhouettes? I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking of how we can have a true RPA silhouette for baseball. That's what I'm trying to figure out. The bat knob autos seem to do really well, and the old school bat knobs seem to be a high-end collector's piece.
Bat knobs, bat plates, cut autos. Cut autos still have the right player. I think they're actually getting a little tired now.
Yeah.
The cut autos, especially like of the players that we've seen. I feel like a million, like Bobby Thompson. Bobby Thompson has to have like tens of thousands of cut autos that are out there.
Yeah, but a point to be made, Dan, that we will not have modern day cut autos because checks are not written as much as they were back then. So that's what those are all from. Is it from return checks? Basically going into auctions and stuff like that.
So players just if they're not signing checks, they're not signing anything?
No, we're gonna get DocuSigns. We're gonna get DocuSign cut autos just printed.
No,
Now
that's a good point.
suddenly the NFT crowd is like, see, this is what we're talking about.
Right?
You got to have an NFT DocuSign cut auto. That's
Yep.
what it's going to be.
It was originally signed by Barry Bonds' finger on his phone in 2000.
I still sign checks.
25.
What's up?
I still sign checks too.
Still out
Nobody
there.
wants your auto, Dan, even though you did pull the 101. Mac Jones. Nobody cares. And your Lambo, which is gone now. Apparently, took it home.
I think it got
Drove
stolen.
it home.
No, it got stolen. It lasted like a week, and it's, I got a police report out on it. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
I found it.
There it
Hey,
is.
Cody stole it from you. All right, well, let's pivot into some basketball talk. I guess you didn't know these Star 85 cards were not being graded by PSA due to the amount of possible counterfeits that were introduced to the market. So now Nat Turner and PSA are like, we know how to tell fakes now, so we're going to start grading them again. If you don't know the history behind this, and I'll try to tell it as best as I know, there was no real licensed, this is licensed, but there wasn't any major manufacturer from the period, I believe, of 81 to about 85. So that's why 86, 87 is a lot of rookie year cards when it's not really their rookie year. So people are trying to lean and say that, well, the Star 85s could be Jordan's rookie card because it's before Fleer. So I guess my question to you guys, we'll start with C-Rad, the basketball guy here, is this MJ's true rookie card?
No, because I feel like the Fleer's been established for so long now, and every few years people do bring up the star card, and they're like, no, this is the rookie. This you need to be collecting this one. It's gonna overtake the Fleer, but it never seems like I'm saying, like in the last 10 years, I've heard it so many times over the years where like the star is gonna be the one that you need to collect, and it never happens because I think just the Fleer is just the tradition has just been too long now that that's established as his rookie card.
Yeah, Dan?
Here we go. It's the this is how we're evolving. This is the next pump and dump here. This is what we're going to do. Everybody's going to go out and they're going to get these star cards. They're going to get them graded by PSA. A couple people are going to say this is the true rookie that you want. Already made all our money on the 86 Fleer. I mean, at one point, I think the Gem Mint 10 PSA Jordan was selling almost close to $1 million. So we already made our money there. Now we're going to go straight into the star. Those are going to get graded. Those are going to go through the roof. Come on, were we going to fall for this? We're all going to fall for it.
I think so.
Doug, are you on eBay right now buying star rookies?
Right here,
raw?
22,000 now. BGS 8, and I don't know which one we had. So Star, and to the great Don West was a very integral part of this. There was a lot of Star being sold on the Home Shopping Network, a lot of them. Now, I don't know if that led to the counterfeiting. I don't know, but there was, you could find those videos on YouTube of, Don West yakking about the 85 stars and, everybody gets one, blah, yeah, how Don West, he's a great salesman. And I don't know if they can. My concern here is how do they know? Because if you've ever seen one of these cards, they are very basic. I mean, it was printed in 1984, so, it was also printed by a company that was a lot smaller in size than these companies now. So how do they know what's real and what's not?
I mean, they seem to be claiming that we have the technology now to be able to tell the difference. We have years of research. We know BGS has been grading these for a long time, so there's we assume that there is a standard out there to figure this out. But yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. I think it's telling that in that write-up on Sports Collectors Daily that was talking about this, they mentioned that PSA is kind of touting like you can bring yours to the National, almost like it's a sort of marketing ploy of like, hey, come to the National. It's the big 84-85 Jordan Star grading bonanza at the National.
I'm not
this
going.
year.
That's it. I'm done. We can't. Don't. Let's not. But we all know what the true Jordan rookie is.
Yep.
We know.
It also looks better. I just think
This
the 86
actually
Fleer looks better.
It's funny. This is Star. Doesn't it look like a Fleer design, like a Fleer baseball design?
Kind of, but
Like from like 80,
first?
82, 83 Fleer, a different color. But I swear there is a Tony Gwynn rookie that is like a gray border that looks almost identical to that card.
The 83 tops.
Is it 83 tops?
That's where they had their face in the little circle, right? So I believe that's Tony Gwynn rookie. Is the 83, which I think
there's another like an older 80s, like early to mid 80s Fleer design. It looks just like that, but just a different color. But I mean, you're not gonna go around and say that this is the true rookie, are you?
No.
I mean,
don't
it'd make
think
for good radio, I guess, or whatever we're doing, podcast.
But no one considers the 51 Bowman the mantle rookie either. So there's that, right? So the 52.
You don't think this has to do with the fact that we've already everybody has already made their money on 86 Fleer, and now let's tap a market that really.
You don't think there's just an overwhelming amount of demand?
No, I don't at all. No. I think it's just like, hey, we've already made our money on this one card. Let's go to the next card. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can get these into a six-figure PSA 10, $150,000, $200,000.
Well, if that's the case, then we could put our tinfoil hat on, and we could basically find maybe one guy bought like 7,000 of these, and now he's going to cash out.
It'll happen. It will happen. I mean, it's the players at B probably already have those cards.
Could be Don West. He just
I also
couldn't sell them. He kept them.
I also heard that these cards were printed after the fact as well. There was more of them printed.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, this 84, 85 star could have been printed in 1987.
I believe there's several different versions. Now, this is the 101, which I'm assuming is the most coveted. But I believe there's different versions that they made of the Star Jordan. Like
There is
a lot of them.
There is a CEO or somebody who worked at Star that has shoe boxes full of these cards, and they're about ready to be like a billionaire.
Cardboard rich. Yep. Definitely.
No, I mean, it's going to turn into real money with a B.
Star 85. I'm assuming the company was Star. I don't know if they were ever bought by anybody. I guess there's. Is there any history on Star there, Cody?
I'd have to double check. Do a little more digging. Star cards. I'm not sure. When I put it up on Google, the first thing I get are tarot cards when I look up Star cards. So that kind of tells you a little bit about their history.
Yeah.
Not very significant.
Maybe you can ask them what they think the 85
That's
Star
true.
will
Yeah.
do.
Maybe they can predict our future when it comes to Star cards for Michael Jordan from the 84-85 season.
They're like,
I
oh,
mean, I'm looking at an eight near me. I mean, $22,000.
yeah. I don't even know which one. Now I'm interested because I put one in a buyback. I don't know if it was that one.
Great. Well, there you go. You just burned six figures.
Let's see. I'm going to be sad if it's that one, but that's what I'm saying. I think there's more than one version of that card.
And we're determining
See,
that.
right there. That's a different one. I paid $1,000 for that one a while back. All rookie team, number 2.
This is all I could find right now on Google from 1983.
You paid $1,000 for that?
Yeah. BGS 6.5, but it's not the exact one.
From 83 to 85, Star was the only NBA license for trading
Interesting.
cards.
Cool.
Exclusive.
There you go.
Yeah, what a time. Right before the National, everybody's going to be going crazy over these Star Jordan rookies.
Are they though?
I don't want that 86, 87 Fleer. That's
I feel
garbage.
Like what you're alluding to, the pump of this card, I feel like it almost feels like the same group that's been trying to do it every single time for the last 10 years.
Could be.
You mean the old Silver Prism group?
Maybe. They've moved on. They
They moved on.
Right?
They've probably been moving on the whole time. We just been
Could be Nat Turner. Cause
everybody's been following suit for the last like 5-6 years and buying up whatever they buy up, and then just what's the old terminology? Get stuck holding the bag. Is we still using that one?
They were only available through hobby dealers and direct mail order as part of a Chicago Bulls team set. So
Yeah, and a big reason why they were not being graded in the late 90s, there was a home shopping network big controversy where one of the former founders was selling these cards that were reprinted, and that is why PSA has basically refused up to this point to.
Man, it all goes back to Home Shopping
It
Network.
does.
I'm telling you, man.
It all
We're
comes
just-
full circle.
It all full circle. And
That's wild.
yeah.
Well, as Doug alluded to at the beginning of the show, our lucky winner, I guess, the guy who got the number 1 card that we have pulled
Ever.
all year. Ever.
Ever.
Dan says ever. Dan says the best card we have ever pulled. Dan, the best card Dan has ever pulled? Yeah.
It's up there.
It's good.
You do these shows and you do the national and whatnot, and that's like the first question. I know Conrad's probably got that question as well. It's like, even in the chat, come in and they're like, "It's the biggest card you ever pulled." And you're like, we do like 200 breaks a week. It's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
it's hard to remember. I mean,
is.
there's a lot of big ones.
Yeah.
But this is one that I definitely will remember, and it's up there as probably the biggest cards I've ever pulled, and it really had to do with the fact that it was flawless and it was on release day, and it was the first briefcase I opened up. So pretty rememberable. Blah.
So memorable.
Memorable.
that we've invented a new word.
Rememberable.
Well, yes, the guy who got that card, Jeremy, came into Mojobreak to pick up his card, and then was nice enough to sit down and talk to Dan and I to relive that day, to relive that moment, talk about what his plans are. Maybe he's going to be coming to the National. The card may be on the floor at the National. If you guys want to get a close look at it, I think.
Yeah, you might be able
will
to trade it for a 83, 84, or 84, 85 star Michael Jordan rookie.
Yeah, exactly. The way those things are going. You know what? I think he needs to trade it for the Lambo. I think that's the only
My
fair
Lambo
trade.
or the Lambo?
Well, you could throw in yours if you really want to, but no, the Lambo. I think that's the only fair trade, right? That's the only one you could do. So,
in today's, with gas prices the way they are,
yeah.
whew,
Yeah, why? Yeah.
a-
That's a money pit.
it's a money pit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you want to
don't-
get rid of that. You want to get out of that Lambo.
That's right. Yeah, you don't need that
wanna get
Lambo.
out
You
of
hear
that.
us? Would you rather have a Mac Jones 1-of-1 rather than the Leo Lambo? Anyway.
Going into training camp. I mean, the sky is the limit.
Sky is the limit. We talked about that with Jeremy. He was nice enough to sit down with us. Here is that conversation. All right, everybody, a very special segment here of The Hype. Cody with you. And I've got 2 guys who were part of Mojobreak history. I've got, of course, Dan, and a man who has come to pick up some very precious cargo. Jeremy is here picking up the 1-of-1, the flawless Mac Jones Shield RPA. First of all, I just got to ask, take us to that moment, Jeremy, of like, were you watching the break live, and
Yeah,
like
I
what
was
was
live.
going
I
on
was
in your
live.
head when you saw that
Yeah,
pulled?
so I'll give you a quick rundown. I have a really good friend. We join a lot of breaks. On release day, he's usually to my house by 10 a.m. You guys are breaking by 11. So we were watching it live, and I don't even know what to say about the whole situation except for that I almost had a heart attack.
That would be the proper response. I
Yeah.
feel like. I would imagine in your years of collecting. How long have you been collecting? First of all,
As a kid, I was big into collecting. I used to ride my bike to the local store, pick up a couple packs, go back to my house, crack them, do the same thing the next week with my paper route money, and then I got away from it for a little bit, and then during COVID, kind of pushed a lot of people back into it. Started buying boxes, and then got into breaks, and I mean, it doesn't end there. We're gonna have to edit that.
No, it's fine. Yeah,
No,
we're
you're
doing
good.
we're doing
Sorry.
great. No,
No,
you're doing
you're
great.
sorry.
You're
I
doing
lost
great.
my words.
no,
you're doing great.
good, man.
I'm looking at this.
I was
thing.
gonna say,
like when you have a card like this in your hand.
I was gonna say, man, you're killing
There's
it
like
to the point where I'm like, we just have Jeremy come on and just be one of the
Right.
hosts.
But there's like a moment, like you're having an out of body experience. You're like, and now that it's in front of you, it's like I can't believe it's real. And before this, what was like the biggest card you had in your personal collection before this Mac Jones card? What were kind of the gems of your collection?
A lot of my big cards are actually from the 21 season, rookie season.
Nice.
So I've been chasing Mac since the beginning. Actually, I don't even want to say this, but since college, I was buying college cards.
Oh, nice.
I have
nice.
a bunch of college Mac autos.
Nice.
But yeah, I would say my other biggest card is I have another 101, which is a Spectra rookie Aura.
Aura,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Aura.
Yeah.
That's a 101 gold vinyl. Immaculate gold jersey match. That's the 25. And then a bunch of Panini ones.
Nice.
I mean, all the really good Mac cards, I have one of them.
Nice.
And then
nice.
this one.
And
of
now
them.
the
Yeah.
Mac card.
The Mac.
And
The Mac.
Yeah.
The Mac.
Yeah, I couldn't let Conrad pull that one.
No.
I had to come in. I don't break as much anymore.
Yeah,
but,
Dan, I feel like, because, you've talked a little bit about it on the show, but now, you're seeing the card again. Jerry's here, and just now you've had some time to let it kind of
man, you want to talk?
in.
You want to talk about having a heart attack? Like I went out. we started relatively early that day. So like Wednesday is my run day in the morning. So I went out, got my 2-mile run, came in. I was. After me running around and getting, going crazy and shit like that. I dropped a. Ooh, I should know better than that.
That's why I got editing. That's why that's why we got the bleep button.
But like running around, I remember I came in and I like looked at Doug. I'm like, dude, I'm out of breath. And I just got done running 2 miles. I'm like, I should have taken my blood pressure. It would have been through the roof. But it was crazy. I mean, to pull a card like that on release day out of this product, first case in, my first briefcase, because me and Doug split it, but my first briefcase, man. And to go to Jeremy, who's been searching for Mac Jones cards all year, and supporting Mojobreak, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling, and it goes down in history as I get this question a lot. We do different events, we do different podcasts, and they're always like, what is the biggest card you've ever pulled? This is up there. Yeah. This is going to be one I remember. Sure. I mean, I'll be like, that was it. And hopefully he takes off, wins a couple championships, and we're really, he turns into like Patrick Mahomes, and that will be a card that people will talk about forever.
Yeah, a long, long time. I know, Jeremy, you're a Patriots fan.
So,
what are your expectations for Mac in 2022 and beyond? What do you think he can do? I mean, Brady feels like that's a bar that's almost impossible to reach. But realistically, where do you think Mac's going to be in the next, let's say, the year, maybe even next 5 years down the road?
I think Mac's really good. I think he just needs a team.
Yeah.
I think that's where he's at right now. So it's kind of like up in the air on what's going to happen with Mac, but he's playing with Bill, man. He's
that goes
playing
a long
with
way.
Bill.
I coming out of the draft, and I, again, not a Niners fan, but I was telling my Niner fan friends, I'm like, you guys want to go Mac Jones. He's the most pro-ready quarterback that can jump into a system and win right away, as opposed to going with Trey Lance. And, you guys are seeing that right now, being Niner fans. Like, it's tough.
Well, he's, he has. We'll still see. It's a lot of time left. He's still young.
You can do it. You can have a do-over. I think you
anything.
probably would go Mac Jones.
Well, it's only I'm not gonna.
What
Look,
did Mac go fifth? Right?
yeah. Even maybe further than that.
I think he went. I think he went. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Patriots did trade up a couple spots to get him, but I think he maybe 10th, 12th, something like that.
Definitely defied expectations in that first year, and obviously being on the Patriots. And you know what? And look, I think when we were talking about this, I was kind of like the one that was a little colder on Mac, even though I think he's going to have a good career. But I think the thing I always think about, too, is those first few years of Tom Brady where it was not Brady that was like it was the defense. It was Brady was like a good quarterback, but then he took that leap in that sort of the next about maybe 6-7 years into his career to become
as soon as they started
that
getting
all-timer guy.
They started getting weapons around him, and that changed. I mean,
and like you said, build the team.
And those early Brady years, it was like just don't lose the game for us. Just make sure you don't turn the ball over. Just play smart and let the defense and the running game and everything do its thing. So.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy, one more question for you. What are the current plans for the card? Do you have any plans heading to the National to show off the card? What's the next plan, where's this card going?
Oh, you're asking me the $1 million question.
I know. Well, maybe quite literally.
The absolute $1 million question. I've lost sleep actually thinking about what I'm going to do with this card. It's coming to nationals. I'm going to try to get it graded.
Nice.
Not graded. I think I'm just going to get it authenticated.
Get it slabbed.
Get it
authentic,
slabbed
yep.
up. I'll have my security with me.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. If you need a team, we're right there too for you. We got your back.
I'll be there
at the
hanging out with
National.
you guys
Oh,
for
I love
sure.
it.
Yeah,
sure.
we'll definitely get together. Would love to see it in its encased. I'm assuming PSA is where you'd go.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Definitely.
think that's a smart move. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I'm curious. I'm curious to the offers that you're gonna get at the National. I think it'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
Might have to sell it.
Yeah,
Yeah. We'll see.
Might have to sell it.
Hey, I think we said it on an episode that it's going to be like, what, a week away from preseason.
Yeah.
Football hype will be at like the highest it's going to get. It's a great time. It's a good place to be. And, you know, if you hold and Mac's winning a couple championships, then it's kind of a win-win right now.
Yeah, it's definitely
feels
a
like.
win-win.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy, congrats on the card,
Congrats.
man. Thanks for coming on the show. Man, just so much, just the possibilities when you break with Mojobreak, you see what can happen, like a life-changing card. And, we appreciate you coming on. Congrats again.
Yeah, it's the same way. Like, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the experience. I appreciate how you guys are. And the number one thing, I appreciate this.
Yeah.
Choo-choo.
the bar now is set pretty damn high. So
All right. Once again, big thanks to Jeremy. Again, congrats on the card. Just a phenomenal pull, phenomenal day, and it should be awesome to see it at the National if he does indeed bring it. And hey, if you want to hold on to that, what are the Patriots' odds to win the Super Bowl this year? I haven't looked. I haven't checked recently.
they
They're pretty
I mean, top half maybe.
Gotta be.
Like top 15, top
Yeah.
16. Definitely not in the top 5.
I'll tell you what, for that division, the Jets are coming.
Jets are Dolphins. Look out for the Dolphins too. I think Tua's. It's got to happen at some point with Tua. This is the last year I feel like with Tua.
He's got some
I
help
gotta
over
say
there now.
He's got a lot of help.
Buffalo?
But duh! There's
Like-
that Buffalo team,
Hey,
huh?
Buffalo?
AFC East.
Hey, let me
AFC
tell you
East
something.
thinking good.
If you're a Buffalo fan, the Jets are coming.
Okay.
And I know that
'cause
doesn't sound very dangerous because it's the Jets.
Buffalo got Von Miller.
Buffalo got Von Miller.
Buffalo,
Yeah.
I believe.
Von Miller's a traitor.
I think Buffalo is like they're probably the favorite to win this year.
Yeah.
right?
They
at least
actually,
that
I was
division.
just looking at it. I think
Rams.
it's a
Buffalo.
Rams and Bills. The Bengals are up there as
Yeah.
well. But I think right now, I think people are looking. They're like, it's going to be a Bills-Rams Super Bowl.
Yeah, that makes
Which-
sense, especially with the moves KC made,
Which-
where they got worse. Even though yes,
Which
Patrick Mahomes still there.
anything can happen. Like anything can happen. I mean, how often do you have these like before training camp Super Bowl
Teams
odds
that are supposed
and
to win.
then like it just doesn't even get close to
it
happening.
blows up.
I mean, there's no doubt that like the Bills and the Rams are going to be competitive.
Yeah.
Probably going to make the playoffs, but especially for the Rams and being a Rams fan, it's tough. It's tough to win back to back. Teams are going to be gunning for the Rams. I mean,
They're gonna have a target on their.
they're
back.
going to go into every game and it's going to be the opposite team's like Super Bowl week
Yeah.
in and week out.
Always. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we're just a few weeks away from football
crazy.
training camp. So let's talk Prizm Basketball. Prizm
Love it.
Basketball, folks.
Love it.
Look, yeah, basketball season just ended, but of course, one of the biggest releases of the year, Prizm Basketball, has arrived or is about to arrive. If you're listening to this, we're just a day away from a huge release. The first look at these, some Cade Cunninghams, Evan Mobley, going to be the guys we're chasing. What are we thinking? How are we thinking? Prizm Basketball is going to be this year. I think we've been talking a few months ago. I think right as the playoffs we were in the middle of playoffs. Wasn't a ton of basketball, at least from this season's rookie class out there. So it felt like, boy, these guys are kind of just getting lost in the shuffle. Is that? I mean, this is all is going to change, obviously, with the release of Prizm. What do you guys think?
Just,
going
it's
into
crazy how I mean, what the time of the year it is right now. We're talking about
Summer League.
Prizm. I mean, we have Summer League. The finals just ended. I mean, we are, 2 months away from like a little preseason basketball training camp. I mean, the next year is right around the corner. Like, we're going to be getting collegiate products soon. And I feel like we have maybe 15 more basketball products that are coming out for this year. So, like, it feels weird. It feels weird to be talking about Prizm this late. Now, Prizm will have legs. The market will love it. There'll be huge cards pulled. The golds will be insane. Like, the Mojo Prizms are going to be ridiculous. What I do think is going to happen is, since we are so close to next season, I think the market will taper off a little bit. And you're going to start seeing, especially guys like Chet, OKC Thunder, putting up, the stats he's putting up in the Summer League out of the gate. That's going to get people speculating on next year already. They may start saving their money and be like, okay, I'm not going to buy this year's Prizm or this year's Optic or this year's NT. I'll just save it for whatever releases we're going to have early in the next season. So, I don't know. It's a weird time. It's a crazy time.
Yeah, I think if the positive spin is that I think that you could make an argument to say a lot of these big rookies that people are going to be chasing they've got a better supporting cast around them, like Cade Cunningham. It's got Jaden Ivey now, where you think Detroit might make some noise here. They might actually put together a really interesting team.
That's a good point.
Chet Holmgren obviously joining OKC. Josh Giddey. That really, and he's been a guy I feel like has of this rookie class, his value has ramped up. I feel like he's kind of become a favorite among collectors.
The
what
Magic
do you think,
kids,
C-Rad?
those two rookies that they have, now they got that number 1 pick.
Yeah.
You're right, dude. Like, this draft that just happened, in a strange way, maybe not a strange way, but it's actually going to help this draft class that we're still going through, because their teams have massively improved with the rookies that these guys have picked up. Because, they're rookies for a reason. They went to the bad teams, and then now another year of that, they got their rookie season underway. Then they were able to pick up more good young players that should even propel them to be, even better teams, maybe even better players in their second year. We don't see how good these kids are until they're usually their second, third year, right? Until we can really determine how viable they'll be, like in terms of like superstars or all-stars and stuff. So
yeah, and I didn't even mention the fact that, like, the Magic have obviously Suggs and Wagner in here.
That's what I was just saying.
Banchero, yeah, you mentioned it. Yeah, the fact that Paolo Banchero, the number 1 pick, goes there, like, that is as exciting a young team potentially on paper in basketball.
Yeah, those 3 teams you just said, like the Pistons, massively improved with the rookies they picked up. Thunder, obviously with Chet, is going to be a huge boon for that team, and then the Magic too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I get it. If there is maybe a little bit of pause of, like, does this thing lose steam faster than previous Prizm releases? Do you guys see that happen?
I was gonna say, in the last, so we got 2021 LaMelo Prizm last 2021 January. Okay, so we are a year and 6. We waited a year and a half to get the next rookies class Prizm. Now, in that year and a half span, the Prizm market has substantially cooled down, just across the board between football and basketball. So I'm very curious to see how the market responds. Obviously, we're still, like I said, this has been the hottest summer for sports cards that I've seen in the last 6-7 years. Like, usually summers are pretty dry time, but it's been firing all cylinders especially for football and basketball and baseball too. So I'm very curious to see how the market does. Let me ask you a question. So the schedule of releases have been so off. Do you think they're gonna try to eventually catch up, or do you think this is just the new schedule now? We're gonna get Prizm in the summertime.
Man, you're right. I mean, something has to give, right? This is either going to be the new norm, or we're going to get completely just destroyed by I mean, we see it every fourth quarter, and we're slowly heading into it. But you see, like, November and December historically, you see like so many releases, and with this backlog that we have, potentially we could see the biggest month ever in December for releases if they ever intend to catch up.
Yeah.
So I remember sitting there counting like a couple years ago, like, and it hasn't been as bad like the last couple years, but there was a couple Decembers where there was like 60 or 70 releases.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And like I think it was ridiculous. I mean, every Wednesday you would have like 6 or 7 releases, and then on Friday you would have like 8 releases, and then like I remember at one point there was like releases on Monday. Like we're doing a Monday release. I mean it was chaos. I think we may see that again. Maybe not to the extent where they can just completely ramp up and catch up. I don't think we're gonna see Prizm Basketball come out in January anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be later.
Well, even that coming out in January was because of the
pushed.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Right? Because we usually see Prizm actually in November every year.
Yep. Yeah. Usually about a month and a half after the season.
Yeah.
And that is like the perfect timing for Prizm because everybody has basketball in the dome. A lot of these rookies are playing, they're performing, you're getting like highlight dunks. Like, I mean, you're really seeing these players and how they're interacting with their teams.
And it's still early enough for you to really prospect.
And it's also early enough to where you don't know if like this surprise team can make a playoff run. You don't know. I mean, right now, like where Prizm came out, we know what these rookies did.
Yeah.
Like it's funny that you guys were saying we're like almost prospecting next year with how these teams are going to be performing with the new rookie class.
It's weird.
Like we're almost like there's going to be teams and PYTs that sell based on what said team did in the offseason.
Yep.
More so than the rookie they're chasing for that specific product.
Right.
I mean, what a time. What a time. I mean, and I hope this isn't the new norm. I don't think this is a good time for Prizm to be released.
And I think, too, it's tough because I think that of all the sports, I think there's an overlap of basketball and football collectors, and you have so much of each product coming out right now that I think it can be a little overwhelming. If you are collecting both of those sports, that you just had Prizm Football a month ago and now Prizm Basketball, plus obviously some huge football releases still to come, it could feel a little overwhelming. And I guess is it going to change? I guess it depends on what happens here. Like if there's still a clear demand and things are fine, then I don't see why they would have any reason to change to rush things if everything seems to still be selling as well as it ever has despite the release date. But if it doesn't, then maybe they say, okay, we got to get back on track.
It's tough for the average collector when you have back-to-back releases like that, especially if there is crossover with football collectors and basketball collectors with both Prizms coming out like within a month of each other. We may see it again with Optic.
Yep.
Optic football still needs to come out.
Yeah.
Optic basketball needs to come out. Like, there's a chance that those can come out within a month of each other. And select football and select basketball and like NT basketball coming out. I mean, like you were saying, I think there will be a push to try to compensate and catch up, but it is going to be brutal. And certain products are not going to perform as well as they have historically just because people do not have unlimited resources to buy trading cards.
And that's the other thing I don't see it happening, but I feel like products are going to have to are going to get lost on the cutting room floor, right? At some point.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I know. No, they're not going to. You're right.
No. We're getting recon basketball.
Yeah, we're getting them all.
I know what's the new one? Photogenic basketball. I know that I just saw.
That just went straight to Dutch auction.
So and
I didn't get any. I completely forgot because again, even though I live this, I forgot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I do this every single day of my life, and I forgot.
So no chance they're going to leave money on the table, even if it's a little bit of money.
There is no product that they are going to basically say, I know we were going to do this, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because
That is a conversation that in 12 years of doing this is not common. How many products
It doesn't.
have been scheduled for
And then
to
canceled.
get released and then canceled?
I've actually
I
only
mean,
seen Upper Deck do it recently.
yeah, I mean, I think it's happened. It's in 12 years, I think it's happened less than 10 times.
Yeah. So I guess that my point being, yeah, if they're not willing to do that, then I just don't see how they can catch up without rushing this out.
This might
and
be
then
the new
there's some
normal
quality. There might be-
schedule.
Yeah.
And we'd have to adjust.
We don't want Prizm. We don't want Prizm in July.
No.
After the season's done.
We don't want Prizm in July.
No, we don't.
After the draft.
Prizm Basketball is coming out as the MLB All-Star Game is happening. That just everything about that sentence feels
there's a-
weird.
You know,
Yeah.
at least this is NBA because about 3 months ago when Prizm Draft Basketball came out, I was like, this is the worst timed product of all time. We're like at the end of the NBA season and we're getting Prizm Draft for the previous draft class.
That one could have been cut.
Could have been,
That one could have been.
but no way.
No way.
Not
And if they're not going to cut that,
Right. Then they're not cutting anything.
not cutting recon.
Not cutting anything. No, not at all. Let's get no. Go ahead, Sierra. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say I pray that we get Prizm Draft Basketball on time in October
Yeah.
because, please,
Well,
basketball gods.
that is where that product should. That's when it should release. That's
Before the season starts.
before the season starts. It's the only way that product truly has legs and can actually be collectible. It has to be before the season starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be kind of like a preview product for these rookies. But we need to get away from the overlapping of pro releases and collegiate releases. Because the collegiate releases will never be able to sustain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Prizm Draft, you sold it, but I don't think you had a lot of people asking for it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
no. Not an
That
NBA
one
product.
really hit home for me when it did finally come out. I was like, oh wow, yeah, we are behind.
I mean, I had to do a double take and be like, is this really for 21-22?
Thought it might have been for
Or
the
is it
new upcoming draft.
22-23?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was 22-23, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, we're gonna have a real long overlap of years here, and rookie classes are gonna be chasing. But I'd rather have that
Yeah.
than have
Before the kids even get drafted.
yeah. But we're having
At least it's something different. It's where you're not pulling the Cade Cunningham college cards 3 weeks before the Prizm stuff comes out, because then it's like, yeah, what's the point?
you're pulling Cade Cunningham college cards and the season's over.
right, right.
Season's
wild.
done. Season's
Yeah,
done.
we're done.
We got a preview card.
Like,
I mean, we've already seen him in his NBA jersey,
Right,
but here
right.
you go.
Saw about 60 games worth of it.
I don't.
So we got-
I don't think this was like the manufacturer's intention at all. I think
Yeah.
the supply chain issues, I mean, have definitely been wreaking havoc from that aspect as well. It's tough. I mean, there's not an unlimited amount of printing facilities
that's
that are
what I was
getting
gonna say
products
too.
out.
Like, the only way to really solve this too is that if they, I don't know if it's how this is possible. Like, is there another printing facility that can hire to print these cards?
I mean, I don't know too much. I know there's one main one in somewhere in Texas, and I think all the manufacturers use that one. But
yep.
if you've noticed with some of the Topps releases, you've seen like made in Mexico, you've seen made in Italy,
Yeah,
except with
and
the F1.
And I want to say the cards that are made in Italy are like chef's kiss. Like, for some reason, the quality control on those cards, and it's been F1 and it's been some soccer that's been coming from Italy as well. And I think maybe some other releases that I've noticed from Italy. But damn, their quality is pretty good from Italy.
And that tells me that there are different facilities. I mean, you got to figure it's probably pretty expensive even with just getting those cards over from Europe into the hands of the U.S. distributors and
That plays
shops.
a part in the pricing.
That definitely is going to affect the price. So
I will say Topps and now they don't have to deal with multiple sports like with as many as Panini. But Topps has been pretty good with trying to rein it in and get things out on schedule how they normally.
Everything's been on time.
Yeah, everything.
No, even Topps is, definitive usually comes out in March. Okay, so we are behind as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
But Topps has been doing a better job at
It's
trying
still
to keep it as close to.
Well, yeah,
It's still
they-
a 2022 product during the 2022
They have, but
season.
again, they can really focus in on the baseball category.
Yeah, it's easy.
But they've also had their issues. I mean,
Yep.
Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary.
Yeah.
That is a 2021 product.
yeah.
What
And
year? What year we in?
Yeah, right. And
Okay.
that's kind of what made it so jarring was it's
That-
like
that
Topps
was
has
wild.
been really on the ball when it comes to that.
And that one specifically coming out for the average collector, so confusing.
It's very confusing.
Because you would go into a card shop and buy that product. You're like, oh, it just came out, and you're going to be looking for what rookies?
Yeah.
Wander.
Julio, Bobby Witt,
Yeah.
all those guys.
Yeah, like all these guys.
Nope.
This is an amazing product.
How
And
about
then
Ryan Mountcastle?
you basically go back and don't take anything away from Ryan Mountcastle.
Great player, having a great year.
player.
Maybe an all-star player.
Should be.
Yeah.
But it's so confusing. So confusing for just the average collector to not know that you're not chasing the 2022 rookies. You're chasing the 2021 rookies.
Yeah, that one's a strange one.
Yeah.
We rarely see that from Topps. Like
Yeah,
like
we
this.
rarely do. I mean, I think we just saw it recently with Upper Deck and Goodwin Champs. 2021 Goodwin Champs coming out in 2022.
Yep.
That not as big of a deal because there really isn't specific rookie classes you're looking for.
Yep.
So you can kind of get away with it. But the Topps one is confusing.
Yeah, it definitely is. I do want to get back to Prizm Basketball.
Oh,
just
yeah.
the product itself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
yeah,
right.
you know that thing.
That product.
Just the product itself. Obviously, I do feel like the last few years, since basically in a post-Zion Ja world, can we ever top it? Obviously, I don't feel like most people thought last year we could with LaMelo and Ant-Man, and I feel like it got pretty close, and I think now both guys are pretty, Edwards maybe beyond LaMelo in terms of some hobby love. Where are we at with this class? Is it pretty much Cade and then just a mix of guys, or is there a certain guy that now that the dust has settled from the season that you like more than the other, or you think the hobby's going to gravitate to?
I think that similar to football, actually, there are multiple guys that you can go after in this draft class, and they've proven towards the end we started off the season really rough with these rookies. There was no storylines for them. They were playing okay. Their teams, obviously, these rookie teams are always generally going to be losing. But they really a lot of them started to pick it up towards the end of the season. You started to see them being featured more on ESPN on a nightly basis, kind of more storylines coming out about them, about how they're playing. So similar to football, 2021 football, I feel like there's when you're doing, especially if you're doing a random or something, or random teams, there are more teams you'll be happy about if you do get them, similar to football, right? So you got Cade with Pistons, Jalen Green Rockets, obviously Josh Giddey Thunder, the two rookies on the Magic that we talked about. I mean, Scotty Barnes was the rookie of the year, Evan Mobley for the Cavaliers. Obviously Warriors is always going to be a hot team because they do have Kuminga and Moody, and then coming off of the championship, they're always going to be a hot team anyways. So yeah, there's a lot of good teams to chase after in this set. I just, again, I'm curious because the Prizm market has drastically changed in the last year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be, in 3, 4, 5 years from now, we're going to look back on this rookie class, and there's going to be somebody that everybody is chasing that none of us mentioned.
Yep.
There's going to be that player that was maybe 18th pick overall, 19th pick overall, that just all of a sudden becomes an all-star, and that is the player. And I mean, we've always seen it. The window for that player may not be a huge window, and it may not last forever, but there's always those players that pop, and everybody goes back and tries to hunt down that Prizm release. So I think we got to take that in consideration as well, that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the road, there's going to be players that we go back. Now, the one thing about Prizm, as I see it now, as a basketball release and not a football release, the days of pulling a base rookie card and it being worth $150, $200 raw, I think those days are over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the cards that are going to hold monetary value are going to be not even necessarily silvers. I think it's going to be those rookies that are stamped and numbered on the back, regardless if they're like numbered to 299 or 249 or 199. Those are going to be the rookie cards that you're going to want to look for and collect and hold on to.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like this year's like Prizm football where, if you pull a Mac or a Trevor Lawrence base, you still feel pretty good about yourself. I don't see a Cade Cunningham or a Josh Giddey
Now,
base
I mean,
rookie
they are
having that
going
same
to
secondary
be
market.
probably worth 20, 30,
Yeah.
$40, which is an amazing value for a base card. I just think that like over the last 2-3 years, we've like lived in this ridiculous market where, I mean, remember like Luka bases at one point. We would open up an 18-19 Prizm, and it would be like Luka base, like $600-$700 raw.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
They're not that much anymore.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? One wrinkle. Obviously coming off of the John Morant Zion era, and then we went into the LaMelo and Ant-Man Prizm, and with grading, obviously not accepting the lower tiers. So that was a big thing for Prizm last year, right? It's no longer you can just get into a break and then send all your base cards to PSA and like hope for the best. Like people really had to be mindful of the cards that they were sending in during Prizm last year. Now with that said, PSA has opened up back their lower tier service. So, I'm not saying like people are still going to rush out and send every single base card. I'm sure people are way more mindful in this current market. But I feel like we are going to start seeing a lot more graded cards than we did last year because of how closed off Beckett and PSA were.
Yeah, I think you're going to see parallel rookies and you're going to see silver rookies. I just don't think you're going to see an influx of somebody submitting 70 base rookies of Cade Cunningham into a group submission like you would back Zion's year or Luka's year.
Maybe. I wonder though. I think what is the current price for the lowest tier? I think it's like 30.
It's like 30. It's like $30 or something like
$30
that.
a pop.
Yeah.
I wonder if the raw card sells for 30 and you can get it graded for 30. If you're able to get like a PSA 10, would it be worth?
But
more than
remember,
$60?
I mean, and we've seen this the last couple of years. Like PSA isn't handing out 10s like they used to hand out 10s. Like you could probably submit 40 cards, and you may only get 4 10s back.
Mm-hmm.
You may get 39s and a couple 8s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm curious. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. I'm just curious with the lower tier being open again, what people are gonna do with their Cade Cunninghams and Evan Mobley, like just base rookies. Are they gonna send them in? Or are they gonna send them to like maybe SGC? Like people are still gonna try it because it'll all depend on what they.
Well,
resell
people were
for on
doing
those.
it before because you would get your cards graded and you were basically just printing money.
Yeah.
Like you were like, I'm gonna send my cards in.
Especially when they were like
They're gonna get 10s.
$15 a grade.
Yeah, spent $15, got it back. Now I'm into this card for $25, but it's selling for $150 all day long.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to send in a Cade Cunningham, you were to get a 9. Now in today's market, I think it's a wash at that point. $30 for grading, card's probably worth $30. You get it slabbed, it's probably worth $60 now. So
That's a PSA 9.
PSA 9. And
Yeah.
hypothetical. I'm not saying that like Cade Cunninghams are going to come out and they're going to be $30. I don't know. I'm just saying that as an example.
What I'm also going to be looking for this year too is obviously I want to see what the inserts look like. I want to see what photos they use for the players. Obviously, there's got to be every year Panini does a pretty good job of adding something extra besides just chasing the rookie stuff.
Yep.
Like 2021 Prizm will forever be a good product to open, just based on the fact that those LeBron Kobe tribute cards are going to be in there, and there's always going to be parallels of that that people are going to want to chase.
Yeah, if there's something special about, like, say, maybe they do it to a Steph Curry card this year or something like that.
They have the 75th anniversary set. Now,
Yes,
from the
there's that
mock-up,
too.
they look okay, but maybe in person, maybe if we see parallels of it, they might look better.
Some checklists I was reading were alluding to that as a chase in this set, so I don't know I didn't get to see what the exact odds are for pulling those inserts. I guess we'll find out on Friday.
And if there's parallels of that, because, Panini has been doing a pretty good job of adding all these 75th anniversary parallels in all of their products. And they've, for the most part, been all pretty nice. So we'll see what the Prizm one looks like. I'm curious.
Yeah, I think it needs maybe a little bit of that kind of push. With, again, this is not a weak rookie class. I think it has the potential. Down the road, we look at this product and we go, wow, it's filled with like 4 or 5 guys who made it. I think maybe even more so than some of the previous rookie classes that I think were pretty top heavy with these superstar guys. Yeah. Whereas this one, I just think the depth of this class could really be the staying power.
Yep. And it looks like that the upcoming draft is going to be like that as well.
Yep.
You know what else? Like one last thing we could touch on Prizm is that the fact that Prizm Basketball, unlike football, does not have the color blast. I feel like that would add a crazy amount of value to Prizm Basketball, but I understand why they keep it with Spectra as well, because it does give Spectra something special to look forward to. And I do like that it's a little bit thicker card stock in Spectra, right? Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, that's it's going to be a fun release. Prizm Basketball, always an exciting day. Prizm Basketball release day this Friday. We'll be breaking it over on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Go find some spots and some group breaks over at Mojobreak.com. We're ripping it live on Loop, our debut on Loop. Make sure to download the app. We're going to be breaking a Prizm Basketball all day long over there. Should be a lot of fun.
We also have it available on Mojobreak.com.
There you go.
If you want to get your own box and do your own group break at home.
There you go. We got it. The whole Mojobreak family is going to have.
Everybody's got it.
Yeah. Everyone.
Everyone.
If you don't have it, what are you doing?
First off the line, too.
FOTL coming in tomorrow.
FOTL.
Actually, I don't know when we're going to. It will Thursday.
Yeah. It'll get here.
It'll get here. Maybe.
That's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of The Hype. Thanks for listening wherever you listen, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Thanks for subscribing, and if you're not subscribed already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to us somewhere else, Mojobreak Sports Card Show is the show to subscribe to. You'll get new episodes of The Hype every Thursday, new episodes of our baseball card podcast, Wax Packs and Warning Tracks, every Tuesday, so make sure to check that out. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Mojobreak. Make sure to subscribe to Mojobreak Media. You'll get the full video podcasts. Maybe you're watching it right now. Thanks for subscribing. Until next time, for Doug, for Dan, for C-Rad, I'm Cody. We'll talk to you soon.